Hi, this is Marianne Kay from My Mystic Gems, and I create magical items for everyday life. My handcrafted items include wire-wrapped crystals and gemstones, beautiful bullets, which is part of my Peace project, steampunk jewelry and cosplay accessories, and retro and vintage items. I can do custom designs for birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, weddings, and costume affairs. Please visit my website at mymysticgems.com and also my Etsy website at mymysticgems.etsy.com.
Hey folks, it is your boy, the Millennial Magician, and I'm coming to you with another episode. Today's episode is going to be on the creation, the maintenance, and the disposal of magical thought forms. And the episode is actually going to be based off of a presentation that I did a couple of weeks ago for SoMo.con. So hopefully you enjoy it. Sit back, relax, get that notebook out, because we're about to talk about and do some magic. right, folks, let's get right to work with constructing a thought form. For the sake of this example, let's say that my thought form is going to be a spirit guide that helps me find resources related to wisdom, helps me find things related to knowledge and the application of knowledge, and helps to point me in the direction towards finding opportunities to demonstrate wisdom or participate with other people who are considered wise. So for that, I've got a vessel. It's a little owl here. You might not be able to see it, so I'll bring it up a little bit closer. We got this little owl totem here. And then to go along with it as an energy source, I have this rose quartz. And additionally, if you remember from that slide that said sigil crossover episode, here is the name of the totem and its sigil. So how do thought forms come to be? Well, first and foremost, it's important to understand a little bit about the energetic body and the way that our third eye interacts with the astral plane. Got to understand that number one, we constantly create the conditions for our existence through our thoughts and our feelings and, the things that we believe. So the astral plane, the mental plane, and the emotional plane are all important concepts to know about when it comes to the intentional creation of a thought form. With that being said, our thoughts can give rise to an entity that has mental substance on accident. So there are things that we say or believe or think automatically that can turn into a thought form. But thankfully, if we don't reinforce it, it has a short lifespan and it dissipates all on its own. With the creation of a thought form on purpose, however, we give that a beginning date, we give it an intentional lifespan, we give it an expirational date, and we dispose of it. So, one, when it comes to creating one of these bad mamma jammas, you have to define its purpose. And as I already said, the purpose for this one is for wisdom's sake. To help me find wisdom, help me participate in wisdom, help me demonstrate wisdom. That's the purpose. Two, you got to give it a vessel or a form for it to take. I chose the wise old owl. Three, I choose to give it a sigil to act very similar to the Veve in Voodoo, very similar to the angelic sigils in some of the grimoire magic and how you use those to make contact with the entity. I choose to incorporate that in the creation of a thought form as well. And then last but not least, you want to give it an energy source. And that's why I have the rose quartz here. Next thing to remember, when you create a thought form, or an artificial elemental, or a golem, or an egregore, or a servitor, all those can be considered synonymous with thought form. When you create these things, you want to interact with it on a regular basis to keep it charged up, keep it, in line with your own psychic needs, keep paying it attention so it can eat. You want to treat it with respect, because this thing will act and behave in accordance with your purity of intention and with what you got going on in your heart. And making sure that you have that purity is going to start immediately as soon as you get ready to do your ritual. So you cast your circle, of course, you call your quarters, of course, you get them in here to support you. And you want to make sure that everything related to the creation of your thought form is purified and sanctified. So you will, on purpose, go through your altar devotion. I do cleanse you, O creature of water. casting out any negativities or impurities that may lie herein. And I do charge, bless, and consecrate you to this work. So mote it be. I do cleanse you, O creature of earth, removing all negativity or impurities that may lie here within, and I do charge, bless, and consecrate you to this work. Purity into purity then, and purity be blessed. I do cleanse you, O creature of fire, casting out all negativity and impurities that may lie herein. And I do charge, bless, and consecrate you to this work. So mote it be. I do cleanse you, O creature of air, casting out all negativity and impurities that may lie herein. And I do charge, bless, and consecrate you to this work. So mote it be. Behold, the fire is pure and the air is pure. Purity into purity then, and purity be blessed. By the power of this holy water, I do cleanse and consecrate this space, removing all negativity and impurities that may dwell here. I bless and consecrate this space, so mote it be. By this fire and this air, I do charge and sanctify this space. So mote it be. And for this work, I also do suggest invoking deity unto you and calling that power into you. That way, when you are creating this artificial elemental, this golem, this thought form, you are not just adding your own personal energy or power, but you are adding power from the divine as well. Holy Mother, I do call upon you to descend upon this place, to aid me in this working. Fill me with your grace, O Mother, that I may work my will. Hail and welcome. Hail to you, O beloved Father God. I call upon you to descend upon this place. Fill me with your grace and your power and your energy. Fortify me so that I be made strong to work my will upon this place. So mote it be. And then, of course, call upon the ancestors to help you, guide you, and aid you in all those things that the ancestors are so wonderfully great at. Hail, ancestors, blood of my blood and spirit of my spirit, I know you are with me. Blessed is the name we share, and yours is the honor. I do pay homage to your struggle and give thanks for your grace. O sacred and beloved ancestors, join me here for this magical working. Hail and welcome. So now you get to it. You think about the purpose for your thought form, for your servitor, for your golem, what have you. Other examples of what you might want to use a thought form for might include a guardian for your home or property. You might also want to create a guardian to fight off some painful thoughts that you might have. So as I said earlier on in the pre-intro, I did this workshop for SoMo.con. And a lot of the questions that I got about some of the practical uses for this include using a thought form to combat some of the negative experiences that were associated with narcissistic abuse. Yes, you can program a thought form to help you find things that affirm your self-esteem or that affirm your perspective. You can program a thought form to eat negative energy around you that is a result of painful thinking or automatic thoughts. You can program a thought form to help you find things that you have lost. a fetch, so to speak. You can program a thought form to help you find opportunities, job opportunities, educational opportunities, opportunities to participate in your little side hustle, your side gig. Are all examples. You can program a thought form to do whatever it is that you would like it to do. You've got your token. This thing will house the energy of your thought form. It'll also represent the energy of your thought form. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to cleanse this thing as well. And so I call it a baptism. Your holy water, maybe you want to give it a dunk. But I cleanse you, O token, making you right for this work. And I baptize you in the name of wisdom, and that will be your name for here until the next 6 months. That's May. So from November to May, you are wisdom, and you will house the energy of the thought form that I do create. And so by water you are cleansed. A little bit of the salt. By earth you are cleansed. By fire you are cleansed, and by smoke you are cleansed. The reason why you want to do that is because you want to make sure that any attachments that were already associated with your token are now removed. Remember, you want this thing to be as pure as possible so that the only thing that's attached to it, the only thing that's associated with it, are your intentions for it. This thing will behave in accordance with your attentions, and so you want to make sure that this thing is pure, and you want to make sure that your intentions are pure, because that will be demonstrated in how your thought form behaves. Because this is going to be a temporary thought form, it's only going to be around for 6 months. One of the things that I want to make sure is that it has a source of energy for 6 months so that I don't necessarily have to keep feeding it over and over and over again. And so I choose the rose quartz. And again, I cleanse that with all of the elements. Cleanse it with water. Cleanse it with earth. Cleanse it by fire. Cleanse it by air. And now, I charge it energetically. And I use the energy that's given to me by my ancestors, the energy that's donated to me by my God, by my goddess. I donate, the energy that they donate to me, I now add to this crystal. I charge it so that it feeds my thought form. And I will keep these two near each other at all times. And so at this point, I'm visualizing energy from Father God entering my body, energy from Mother Goddess entering my body, energy from my ancestors entering my body, mixing with me and my intentions, and now I'm pushing it into the crystal. And maybe you want to visualize a ball of energy encapsulating this crystal, and this crystal just eating it up. And maybe the crystal is growing to 2x, 3x, 4x its size. And now it's becoming a well of energy to feed this thought form. Now I take the paper that's the sigil, and I consecrate the sigil. Same process. So now what this is going to do is it's going to act like a beacon. So maybe I will carry the sigil with me. Maybe I will choose to one day take the token with me, this little tiny owl. Maybe I'll take it with me. I'll put it in my pocket as a reminder, as an empowerment tool, as something that guides me. And instead, what I will do is I will keep the sigil on my altar. I will place the crystal on top of it so that the thought form and the token are being charged and fed even though I have it out and about with me. Additionally, if you are creating a thought form that's a guardian and you want to put it on a property or on a place or on an object that's away from your altar, using the sigil that connects them is a great way to keep your thought form fed as it travels about, as the token travels about. One of the things that you can do to keep it charged is keep the crystal on there, take a candle, put the candle on there, charge the candle to feed your thought form. As the candle is lit and spends its energy, the energy goes directly to your thought form to fuel the working. One of the things that I will also be doing is I'll be making an offering of grain to the thought form once it's completely, built up and, it's given birth to or conceptualized, so to speak. I'll put the grain on the sigil, or even sprinkle the grain on the sigil as a way of feeding it and maintaining its, necessity. So the token has been baptized, it has been cleansed, and it has been consecrated. Now it's time to charge and activate it and give it a birth or, a more solid conceptualization. So, from below, visualize a pillar of energy coming up to meet your thought form in this token. And you maybe say something like, from the depths of the earth, by the care and the love and the power of the Mother Goddess, I do charge, bless, and consecrate this thought form, providing it energy to be born. And now, from the heavens above, from the cosmos, from the universe, or if your thought form has a particular planetary alignment, so if it's for love, like if you wanted to use a thought form to help you flirt, if you want to use this as a form of, maintaining a sexual relationship with someone that you really cared about, right? You might reach up to the planet Venus and bring it down. If this was something that was meant to help you communicate very clearly with someone who is far away, maybe you reach up to Mercury and bring that energy down. So you might want to know your planetary correspondences as well to help you understand maybe what color candles you want to use, or what color paper you draw the sigil on. All of that does a great deal to help you charge this thought form. But for now, draw down that pillar of light from the sky, from the heavens, down into your thought form. And through the power of Father Sky, I call down your strength and your energy to give birth to this thought, to help it actualize and materialize on this physical world. And from above and so below, you start to visualize the energies of Mother Earth and Father Sky mixing and coalescing. And then maybe you might even want to visualize this thing exiting from a womb and, visualizing it being born in some way. Maybe you push it out through your own fingers and pass it out that way. Boom. Set your thought form on the crystal like so. And now you give it its formal charge. You give it its concrete mission. You call it by name. Wisdom, you are named. And on this day you were born. You have been created to have a lifespan of 6 months, from November 2nd to May 2nd, you exist. And you bring to me all manner of wisdom. You bring me relevant textbooks. You bring me relevant mentors. You bring me relevant opportunities to expand my enlightenment, to expand my ministry in a way that is wise. You communicate with me psychically through visualizations, through soft whispers in my left ear. And once you are no longer needed and once your time is expired, you dissipate automatically. Your energies returning to the goddess and to the god. So mote it be. Now you place your token, the crystal that you use to sustain it, and the sigil that you use to connect to it. You place them all together on your altar. Any candles that you have incorporated with it, you let them burn out if necessary, if possible. So if you're using big glass encased candles like these, it might take a little bit, but just remember that letting those candles burn down like that will feed it for a while, will keep it strong. Let the candles burn down. If you're using taper candles or chime candles, you might also choose to take a look at any of the patterns that might form as you allow the candles to burn. If you see any candles that might, give you some indication to the success of the work, the strength of the golem, it might even point you in the direction of where your first little miracle in relation to your thought form or your golem is coming from. And then from that point, you release your most sacred and beloved ancestors, thanking you for being here and empowering me and lending your energy to this working. I'm eternally grateful for your presence. Please help me to continue to be a wonderful descendant, and please continue to help me be a good example for those who will follow after me. Hail and farewell. Beloved Father God, beloved Mother Goddess, thank you for joining me here and lending your energy to this working. I know that you dwell always in my heart, and I feel you always in my spirit. I release myself from your presence. Hail and farewell. Then you take up, then you release your quarters, you take up your circle, and boom, there you have it. You have created a thought form, a golem, a servitor, an egregore, or what have you, to do whatever it is that you need. As a rule of my practice, I always give them a food source that they can eat on and feed on, so that they're not eating on or feeding on my aura, and they're not necessarily connected to or feeding off of any of the automatic thoughts that I have. Because on occasion I might have an automatic negative thought, on occasion I might have a thought that is completely unrelated, and I don't want this thought form eating on those and having it change its programming. So once I set its programming, I connect it to a source to eat, and that source is strong enough to sustain it for however long the thought form is in use for. I give it an expiration date on purpose. I don't want this thing, moving too far, being super duper unconstrained. Because once you set a thought form, it really is free to go do its job in whatever way it is appropriate. I don't want it getting too big for its britches, so to speak. So I give it an expiration date. It automatically dissipates, the energy returns to the goddess and the god, and boom, that's just that. Every thought form that I create, every golem that I create, every egregore that I create, gets a specific entry in my grimoire. That way, when I'm doing any of my daily, weekly, monthly activities, I'm always being like, oh yeah, that's right, that, thought form does exist. Let me check in and see how it's doing. I'll make some notes about how it's functioning, so on and so forth, so I can keep track of it. I can keep track of how well it's doing and how well it's serving me. So keep that in mind and maybe take that into consideration too. I do hope you find this technique helpful. And And until next time, blessed be.
Sarah had been trying to write a book for ages, but she was still on page 1. Until she discovered speakyourownbook.com. Sarah teamed up with one of our trained writing coaches, who listened to Sarah's book idea, asked the right questions, and guided Sarah every step of the way. In 90 minutes, they had written the outline for Sarah's entire book. Within weeks, using the speak writing method, Sarah became a published author, both online and in print. Whether it's a textbook, an autobiography, a novel, or a children's book, speakyourownbook.com can help.
Yeah!
Visit our website today to download our free 50-question guide and schedule your free consultation. With Speak Writing, anyone can publish a book. Speak your own book today. You speak, we write.